What makes Eze Village one of the biggest tourist magnets on the Côte d'Azur? Well, we're about to find out, and we'll show you exactly how to get there from Nice by bus. We'll take you through the maze of cobblestone streets packed with history and people, and climb up for some of the most insane views you'll find anywhere on the Riviera. Plus, we'll grab a drink at the village's fanciest spot before tackling the hike down to sea level and catching a quick train back to Nice. Curious? You should be.
Now look at the sky! We were hoping for bright sunshine today to show you Eze, and now this. But we're hopeful. We'll see.
We're kicking off our day trip, a real classic by the way, right here at Place Masséna, the heart of Nice. To catch the bus to Eze Village, we first need to hop on the tram for a few stops. The tram ticket? Anya and I share La Carte, and it covers both the short tram ride and the longer bus trip up to Eze. If you want to know more about how public transport works in Nice, check out our dedicated video on that. And perfect timing, here comes the next tram. We validate our card twice, which means we've got 8 trips left out of the 10 we loaded earlier. This is the Red Line 1 tram heading towards Hôpital Pasteur. We boarded at Masséna and are getting off just a couple of stops later at Garibaldi. The ride literally takes no more than 5 minutes. Now where is the bus stop? We're looking for bus number 82, heading to Plateau de la Justice. It's supposed to drop us right at the foot of Eze Village. Normally we'd go by car, but today we're showing you how to get there without your own wheels. And to be honest, finding the bus stop wasn't exactly straightforward. We're searching for a stop called Bavastro, but it's nowhere in sight at first. Turns out from the Garibaldi tram stop you need to head north, meaning away from the sea, then take a right onto Rue Barla and keep walking for about 400 meters, roughly 6 minutes. And there it is, finally our stop. Quick tip, instead of taking tram line 1 like we did, you could also hop on line 2 or 3 and ride it all the way to the harbor, Port Olympia. From there it's about a 6-minute walk to the Bavastro bus stop as well, just a different route. Meanwhile, we realize we've got a few minutes before the next bus arrives. Heads up, this one doesn't run all that frequently. It comes about once to 3 times an hour, depending on the time of day. So, perfect excuse for a quick coffee. And who do we bump into? Jill and Mitch from Canada, who told us they planned their trip to Nice with the help of our videos. We thought we'd catch a bus at 11, but nope, there wasn't one. So we'll just wait it out.
There's the sun. There's a really important rule and the French Riviera: never leave your house without sunglasses, even if it's clouded.
That's why you pretty much always see us wearing ours. Anyway, at 11:22, finally bus number 82 shows up. You have to validate your ticket right next to the driver, and so did we.
It did work! We were able to use the ticket for both the tram first and now the bus. So we made it within a time frame of 74 minutes that you get to go from A to B. So the entire trip for us from Nice to Eze is €1.70 for one person.
And now, enjoy the ride. Eze Village is only about 10 kilometers away from Nice. By car, it takes less than 30 minutes when there's no traffic. The bus follows one of the most beautiful routes around Nice, the Moyenne Corniche. So for most of the way, you'll have stunning views of the sea down on your right. At some point, you'll spot the Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat Peninsula. And the closer you get to Eze, the higher the bus climbs and the rockier the landscape becomes. Until finally, the famous Hilltop village rises up ahead. So what is it about this village that draws everyone in? 2 things attract our attention as we hop off the bus at the foot of Eze Village. First, there are restaurants everywhere, and there's even a bakery selling sandwiches and salads if you're after a quick and cheaper option. Though honestly, we're glad we grabbed our lunch back in Nice. Prices there were about 50% cheaper than up here. And secondly, the new parking garage, which makes things way easier than it used to be, still fills up quickly in summer. So if you're coming by car, make sure to arrive before noon, or be ready to wait a bit for a spot. That said, people usually don't spend hours and hours in the tiny village. If you want to be totally sure to have a space waiting for you, you can book it online in advance. Now, before we head up into the village, which by the way is so much more crowded now in summer than the last time we filmed here, it's time for a little lunch break. And for that, we've picked the first lookout point. It's just below the village, right at the start of the Nietzsche Trail. You'll see more of that later on. Lunch for us today is a pan bagna, basically a salade niçoise in a bun for Anya, and a panino, a toasted Italian sandwich for me. And while we're munching away, we get a lovely surprise, more followers, this time fellow Germans, Inga and Juliane. We absolutely love these little chats during our shoots. But now we really want to explore the village. Be prepared for some uphill walking. Promise, the views get better with every step. And did we mention the crowds earlier? Yeah, it's buzzing with tourists now. And you'll hear a mix of languages all around you. Let's explore the tiny medieval streets. Just follow us and soak up the many picturesque corners and little details in this small village. You don't need a map here, just wander. And at some point, head upwards to the absolute highlight of Eze Village. We're chasing views today, and Eze Village is one of the best spots for it on the Riviera, especially at its exotic garden. So even if you're not a plant person, trust us, the panorama waiting up there is worth every step. Of course, the line to get in is endless this time of year. If you don't feel like queuing at the entrance, you can try one of the 2 ticket machines we spotted earlier, one down at the base of the village, and another one tucked away somewhere in the middle of the maze of narrow streets. Or, easiest of all, just book your ticket online in advance and head straight for the entrance for ticket holders on the left. Tickets are €8 this year, and we're ready to head in. Ta-da! This is what you get. Lush succulent plants, the tiled rooftops of the village, and way down below, the sea stretching out with Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat in the distance. The sky is not quite clear for us today. Usually you'd see all the way to the Estoril Mountains in the far west. Now the exotic garden sits on the site of a medieval fortress. The ruins are still here, perched 429 meters above the sea. People actually started settling on this rocky promontory as early as 220 BC. So don't miss the climb to the very top of the site. No doubt this is where you get the best pictures. Along the pathways, you'll find little signs with facts about Eze's artistic and historical past, giving you a real sense of this place's remarkable story. There's also a newer little relaxation area with a waterfall, misting system, and benches. We'll leave that one for you to discover. Just head behind the huge rock to the north side of the garden to find it. Now you've seen most of the village. But hang on, we're not quite done yet. We definitely want to grab a drink with the view. There's always Château Eze with its beautiful terrace that we really like. But today we've got something extra special lined up for you. The iconic Château de la Chèvre d'Or, or Golden Goat Castle. It's Eze's most famous address, a legendary luxury hotel with a Michelin-starred restaurant, jaw-dropping terraces, fancy drinks, and the kind of Riviera views you usually only see in movies. Anya and I indulge in 2 of the fanciest mocktails we've had in a while. Cheers! We stuck with a non-alcoholic option on purpose, because there's still a sweaty little hike ahead of us.
Now it's time for the Nietzsche path that we're going to take. We had planned to take you to the perfumery to Fragonard down the road, but we don't have time anymore because we ended up on that nice terrace.
A little prep first, because we've got a serious altitude drop ahead. Pro tip, if you plan to hike down to the train station like we do, make sure to wear proper shoes. The Nietzsche Trail is a steep, rocky path that winds from Eze Village all the way down to the sea. And trust us, it's just as scenic as it is sweaty. Legend has it, philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche walked it daily for inspiration. Prepare for around 45 minutes downhill. It starts out pretty uneventful, but promise, the views get better by the minute. We're not alone on the trail either. People are constantly heading up or down. No surprise really, it's a classic local hike. After a while, the sea finally peeks through, and from here on out, it's way more fun. You'll want to stop every few meters for those incredible views. And before long, we're almost at the bottom. Just a couple of meters along the main road to the train station, and then we'll hop on the train back to Nice.
The train ticket was already booked yesterday. Now we are on our way to the station. That was our day in Eze. À bientôt.
Here's a little map to show you where we've been today. And now it's your turn. What do you think? If you only had time for one day trip from Nice, would this be it? Hope you had as much fun watching as we had filming. If you did, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and maybe tell us where we should head next. Until then, à bientôt from the south of France.